Welcome to the Belief Breakthrough Show, where we believe that you can achieve the life you dream of simply through shifting your perspective and breaking through your limiting beliefs. With your host, Tina Encarnacion, the author of Stuck in the Fire, a story of resilience, trauma and abuse coach, an energy healer, and Reiki master. Hello, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to another amazing episode of the Belief Breakthrough Show, where we believe that you can change your life simply through shifting your perspective and breaking through your limiting beliefs. My name is Tina Encarnacion, and I am your host. I am a trauma and abuse coach, a Reiki master, and an author of the book, Stuck in the Fire, a story of resilience. Today, we have Liz Rotherham with us, and she is absolutely amazing, you guys. She has been able to overcome bipolar disorder by using tools that she's going to share with us today, changing her life and becoming the person that she dreamed of always being, and still being authentic to herself. So with that being said, Liz, please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah. Hi, Tina. Hi, everybody from the UK. I've got several different hats. So I work for a large corporate company and I do a lot of events and things like that. And I support the senior leadership team. However, my passion is mental health and well-being for all people. I'm a mental health trainer. So I deliver courses on and mental health training. I'm also a holistic therapist. So like yourself, Tina, I read angel cards and I'm all about the power of the mind and everything like that. So
that's awesome. So when you first were diagnosed with bipolar, or when you realized something was going on mental health wise and you were struggling, what did that look like? What did that feel like for you?
you know what? All my life, I have gone through a lot of challenges and I hid it all away. I put up a mask saying everything's okay. And people used to see me and say, oh, look, she's a bubbly person, but they didn't actually know what was going on inside my head. I kept a lot of things inside my head. And when I eventually had a breakdown, it was awful. I couldn't stop crying. It was like Hoover Dam had broken its walls. It was, I couldn't even talk. My sister had to take me to the hospital and to the doctors. And she talked for me because it was all the trauma that had just suddenly been hidden away for years just came out. And they put me on antidepressants. And I went into a depression and it was, couldn't get out of bed, couldn't sleep. It was horrendous, absolutely horrendous. So that lasted probably for a couple of months. And then the following year, I unfortunately went in the other way. I went into psychosis, which if people don't understand psychosis, it's actually losing of your thoughts and your emotions. You just don't know what's going on. And I had manic thoughts, to the point that I thought that I was Jesus' sister and wanted to stop a train. And luckily for me, my boss spotted it and I was actually taken to a mental hospital. So I was sectioned, and I'm so thankful, to the Lord, to, Mother Nature, things like that, because it saved my life. So, yeah.
So once you got to that point where you were sent to hospital, and was it there that you learned different tools, or was it you doing self-exploration that you learned how to help yourself, or was it a combination?
Yeah, I think what it was is they diagnosed me with bipolar because I'd gone through the down and then I'd gone through the extreme high. And you know what? Back then it was in 2003, and as what it is now. And you know what? I was in denial. I was in denial. I hold my hands up. I was in denial, as if, what is bipolar? This is not me. So do you know what? I carried on drinking. I carried on drugs, and I was just abusing myself. And then I had another 3 episodes where I ended up being sectioned again in the mental hospital. And suddenly realization hit me, and I thought, what am I doing? What am I doing? Why am I doing this to myself? I keep going back into hospital. I'm not ever going to get better unless I start sort of putting myself, because the only person, no matter how many times people say to you, or do this, do that, the only person that can help yourself is you. And I took cognitive behavior therapy. I went to counselling. I did numerous amounts of therapy, group therapy, one-to-one therapy, counselling. Yeah, as I said, cognitive behaviour therapy, which you can do online as well. That helps your emotions, your thoughts, and gives you a new way of looking at things. So I did that for a lot of years. I came off alcohol, stopped dabbling in the drugs, and I started just looking after myself, just, becoming more healthy, doing a lot more exercise. And I'm not talking about going down the gym, because I'm not a gym bunny. I hold my hands up, I'm not a gym
Me
bunny.
neither.
I just like walking, in Mother Nature, in the fields with the dogs and things like that. And to me, that's exercise, just walking really. Did a lot of that. And then I got into meditation and mindfulness, calming your mind down. And for me, that has been the biggest breakthrough, because maybe back in, no, actually not maybe, I know, back in 2003, if someone had said to me, oh, meditate or do mindfulness, I'd have said, what? You what? No, no, that is not going to help. So there's a time and a place for therapy, holistic therapy. And it's, probably in the last years, I've been introduced to holistic therapy, mindfulness, meditation, all about the mind, and it's really helped. But what is, there's what works for one person might not necessarily work for others. So it's people finding what works for them, what works for you. So yeah.
Absolutely. That's one of the reasons why I have this show, to show all the different perspectives and aspects out there, because you're right, one thing doesn't work for the other person. And in fact, you're not like you mentioned, there's a time for a place for everything. So with me, like my journey started out with essential oils, which introduced me to Reiki, which introduced me to life coaching, which introduced me to hypnotherapy. And so there were steps and lessons, and your body isn't ready to take it all on like a fire hose. You have to do it in different layers, and each step you take prepares you for the next layer of healing, right? And so bringing all of you amazing experts onto the show to highlight what's out there, because I didn't even realize everything that was out there until I really started doing the show. And I put out that call, and I'm like, I'm looking for, self-help. And I had like hundreds of applications. I'm like, what do you do? What is that? What is that? What is that? What's shadow work? What's sovereignty coaching? What's this? And, you know, um, but there's something that works for everybody when the time is right. And one thing that I loved what you said was you put that mask up. You put
Mm.
that mask up and no one knew what you were battling with. And I think in our society, we're so busy trying to be what we think everyone else wants us to be, that we lose sight of ourselves, and we start to abuse ourselves and ignore ourselves until our bodies just shut down and say, I'm a temple. You have to take care of me, and you're not taking care of me. So they just stop you in your tracks, right? And so I think that that's something that's really important for us to realize and acknowledge is be authentic to yourself before anybody else. And as long as you're being authentic and honoring yourself, your body will honor you, right? But when you're not doing that, your mind is going to go, it's going to shut down. And your mind is the first warning sign. It lets you know if you're negative emotions, something's wrong here. And if you don't listen, then your body goes into crisis mode, like you couldn't speak, right? Um, so, do you have any tools that help you to realize when your body's overloaded, when it's like, okay, something's happening, I need to go back within myself, I need to pause for a second? What signs does your body give you to let you know that you need to take a step back for a second?
Yeah, I mean, there's a number actually, but can I just go back on one point, Tina, because I totally
Yeah.
just about the mask thing, just so the people that are watching this, you know what? It's like I was bullied when I was younger, bullied like really badly. I was um, abusive relationship, and I never spoke to anybody about it. I never ever shared how I felt. All right, and I really, 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 if I had my time again, you know what? My issues started when I was 6. And if someone had said to me when I was 6, Liz, do you need, talk to me, and no one did, and if I said that, it might have taken me a little while, but it might have really helped. And all I'm saying to people is just talk to someone, all right? Don't hide it, all right? Because the more you talk, you'll realize that there's a lot of people that go through different things. We all face challenges, and it can be really shit, you know. But I do talks now, and I give people hope, because I've been sectioned in the hospital probably about 10 or 11 times, all right? And do you know what? Oh my goodness, some of the things that I've been through and seen is just horrendous. And I've actually written a book, because I think people are quite surprised, because they look at me and they think, oh my goodness, she doesn't look like she's got bipolar. And and people don't know unless I talk about it. But I talk about it as much as possible to give people hope. But regarding signs, like going back to what you asked, it's, for me, it's stress. So we all have thoughts that go on in our head. What if this? What if that? Anxiety, and we have nerves and things like that. And it's just having the ability to recognise when your head is full. I do a very good exercise on my training, which is called the stress container. And everyone's container is different. Some can have small, some can have big. It's the amount of stress you can contain in your head. And what it is when it gets overloaded, like a glass of water or something like that, it overflows. If you can recognize it before it happens and you go into meltdown, then you know what your coping mechanism and your triggers are in order to deal with it. So I'll give you an example. Probably in lockdown, there's a lot of anxiety going on, and there's anxiety. Step back and think, right, okay, out, Liz. Let's look at the situation. All right. So, step back and just reviewing, and stop over analyzing and overthinking the situation. I have to make sure I get a lot of sleep. So sleep is very important to me. Relaxation. I do such a lot of calming exercises as much as possible, and avoid stressful situations. I don't drink anymore. I know everyone likes a little bit of a tipple, but do you know what? It's the best thing I've ever done. I've stopped drinking, and because my mind's so much clearer now. I've addressed my limiting beliefs. I've cleared all my negativity. I do a lot of letting go exercises, and when you burn stuff and just get rid of it, it really helps. There's different exercises that you can do, and it really helps me. But it's an ongoing thing. It's not, I have days when I feel a bit rubbish, and I'm not feeling myself, and it's okay to feel like that. It is okay to have a shit day. And then sometimes I'm on top of the world and I've got so much energy, people think I'm like Tigger. I'm bouncing around like that, and they go, where do you get energy from? So, it's what you eat as well, to a certain degree. There's, I've turned into a vegan, like, vegetarian, vegan, and that's really helped. So it's different things that sort of help.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that's really important to understand your mindset and your stress load, because I know for me, and it drives my husband insane. I'm a yes person. So I'm constantly like, yes, yes, yes. And I'm taking on all the load from everyone else. And then I'm like, oh, wait, there's no room for the family. Okay, you guys, well, I'll be back to you in a month. I got to get all this off my plate first. And it's difficult for him. But I work really well under stress. Like, the more stress I'm under, the better I feel. And I think that that's probably a form of self-abuse that I'm currently working on. But I've always shouldered the world for my family. When I was growing up, I was that kid that shouldered all of it. And then at 18, I was on my own. So I had to shoulder it for myself. And then I got married and I had to shoulder it for my family. And so I've never known how not to be under a lot of pressure, and not to be under a lot of stress. So when I don't have that stress, I don't know how to function. And so it's really having to retrain my brain. And I'm learning that right now, is I have to retrain my brain to be okay without having the world piled on my shoulders. And so that's another battle, is for those people like me that are like wired where they have to be high pressure, right? How do you unwind? Because your body can only be under fight or flight mode for so long before it starts to break down. And so I realize when my body starts to get sick, I've taken on too much, but I shouldn't wait until my body starts to get sick before I say, okay, I need to pause, right? And so you really have to just honor and be compassionate to yourself and say, I know I've done that before, but I don't want to get to that point again, right?
Yeah,
That
yeah,
stress overload.
yeah. And also, our mind is so, so powerful. And like you just said, when it's too much going on in our mind, it comes out in our physical body. So,
Hmm.
you could be dates or you could be stomach or anything like that. And that's when you need to recognize, hang on a minute, do something in order to cope with the stress. To be honest with you, a little amount of stress is not a bad thing because it does
Hmm.
motivate, spurs you on. So, as in a little bit of anxiety, when I do talks, my stomach does flip, but that's not a bad thing. It could be the adrenaline. It not, doesn't, you're only human. So yeah, it's good, and I will say that, it's taken me a long time to actually be authentic, speak my truth, because I've been judged a lot in the past and suffered a lot of stigma and discrimination. And you know what? I think to myself, once you actually find yourself and you be yourself and you don't worry about what other things people think, I tell you what, you're so much happier. And do you know what? I am a scatty mare. I'm a scatty mare, and I am completely random and off the wall, but I don't care. That is me.
Hmm. Yeah, it's when you can drop into yourself and love you for your entirety and not be embarrassed about certain sections of yourself is when you can really live your authentic self and you don't worry about judgment anymore. You don't worry about what someone's saying behind your back. You can be happy and joyous just for being you and accept it and say, "Yeah, I'm a little bit crazy. Deal with it." If you don't like it, there's other places you can go in this world. You don't need to be around me, right? And it feels so amazing when you get to that point where you just don't care what other people think. I tell my clients all the time, other people's opinions are none of your business. None of your business at all. If people are talking about you, that's on them. Don't let that come and absorb onto you. Just be you, right?
Mm.
So, what are some tools that you can share with the viewers that when their stress overload starts to overflow, when it starts to get too much, besides meditation and mindfulness, we've spoken about that, but I know you have so many tools in your bag that you use. So, what are a couple of other things that they can do besides meditation and mindfulness?
Yeah, I mean, it's what you enjoy. So,
Mhm.
I do a lot of gratitude. So I practice gratitude. I do a lot of exercise, like I said, go out with the walks. I do drawing. So I might, I do vision boards. So I create vision boards. I do workshops on vision boards. I set goals and things like that. So it's what you enjoy and what I just go out to the theatre, or I do different things that I enjoy. And as I said before, it's what works for different people. You might not like that. My neighbour likes knitting and she likes crocheting. I mean, that is my worst nightmare. But, it's different people might like it. I love spending time with my partner. We've over lockdown we started gardening. I mean, I've never ever been Mrs. Greenfingers, and all of a sudden going on. I mean, and I've never cooked either. I don't cook. Well, I do cook as in meals, but I don't cook cakes. And I've started baking. I mean, what is I've discovered new skills that I never even realized I had. And, it's things like that. Do something different and you might think, oh, I actually enjoy that. I've been learning new skills. So I'm taking a couple of courses. So just to develop myself even further, because you're constantly learning, like you said, and developing different things. I love it. I love learning different things and expanding my knowledge, because then I know that I can help other people as well. But I think the most important thing is for self-care is actually, in order for you to look after someone else or help someone else, you need to ensure you are right. You are right in yourself. So when I am actually feeling a little bit down, I don't actually, help other people, because I need to concentrate on myself. So that is extremely important. So yeah, no, I do loads of different things. So yeah, I
That's
mean,
amazing.
yeah.
Awesome. So let me ask you this. If you were sitting with someone that is just starting to realize that they have lost control of their life, that is just starting to realize it's time to take themselves seriously and begin to work on themselves, what would be three nuggets that you would tell them to start bettering themselves in this world?
Okay, I'd probably say don't panic. All right, the real you come to, well done. Pat yourself on the back to a certain degree, because the fact that you've actually realised that, it doesn't matter how long it takes. All right, it doesn't matter. Don't beat yourself up. Oh, I should have done this years ago. It doesn't matter. It took me years. It took me what, 32 years. So I would talk to someone. Find your tribe. All right, and what I mean by tribe, people that you can relate to. I avoid negative people, full stop, because they drain my energy. So if someone's not helping you or making funny remarks or judgments and things like that, steer clear. All right. I mean, I've actually removed myself from friendships because of it. And it's been hard, but I like to be around like-minded people who encourage me, give me hope and things like that. So find someone you can talk to who is on your page and speaking your language, and understands you and doesn't judge you and things like that. And also do a lot of research. Have a little look. There's loads of research out here. Like obviously yourself, Tina, you're a coach. There's loads of different people holistically, or websites. There's podcasts. There's online. There's loads of information out there. It's just have a little Google, a little research, and see what suits you. So that's what I would do. There's people out there for all different things, whether it's emotional, trauma. I'm mental health and wellbeing coach. Different things like that. And what, it doesn't matter. It's who you get on with as well, the relationship, because we're not going to get on with everybody, and it doesn't matter. Find someone you feel comfortable with, where you can open up and be yourself with. That's what I would say.
Those are amazing tips. So, Liz, if someone wants to work with you, if they're like, I relate to her, I feel her, I know that she can help me, I need a little bit of Liz in my life, where can they find you?
Come to the UK. No, I've got a website. It's I don't know. Can I say it now? Can I say my website?
Yeah.
www.heads2minds.co.uk. So I do mental health training. So I train people up to become mental health first aiders. I've had quite a few people sign up for a couple of courses coming up. I do a lot of vision board, so creating goals and planning your future and what you want to achieve. So I do a lot of things like that. I'm a mental health and wellbeing coach, so I can help you in that respect. I'm also very spiritual, so I do angel card readings. And what normally happens is when I speak to people, I do a reading, and then it's not like your normal reading, it expands. And then we end up sort of doing a two-way conversation where things come out, and then I help in that respect. So it's quite interesting, actually. So and I work with auras, color therapy and things like that. So there's a lot of different things that I do. It depends what it appeals to some people. So I'm more than happy to help and help people. Yeah, that's what I'm here for.
You sound like my kind of lady. I love all that crystals and colors and auras and So I just want to thank everyone for watching the Belief Breakthrough Show. I want to thank you for tuning in once again. If you want to find your own tribe, like Liz said, if you want to be surrounded by like-minded individuals who are on their healing journey, who believe in themselves and believe that they can live a better life, please join our Facebook group, Women Empowered to Heal. Again, that's our Facebook group, Women Empowered to Heal. Come in again on Mondays and Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Pacific time to see other amazing people that are going to help you shift your perspective and change your limiting beliefs. We'll talk to you soon.